awesome. And then the legs go under the car and it keeps rolling over them.
And, like, it hits the person, and right as it hits the person, it starts to brake.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, we detected something on your hood. We'll apply the brakes now. Oh, and the body's flying through the air. That's awesome.
Speed is running in my veins. Adrenaline that feeds my brain. It's just like I'm getting high. Sometimes just to give a try.
Some of this is helpful, I think, and we've had that. So as let's just kind of get into this a little bit. So we watched a video where automotive manufacturers are putting AI safety measures in their vehicles now. Mm-hmm. And some of that's good. You know, I've had kids in my neighborhood that we've talked about that we know don't look before they cross the street. We've seen some of them just run out in front of cars, right? So putting safety equipment in cars to help in those situations, it can be a good thing. Now, I tend to like to do my own driving. I'm not a huge fan of letting the car drive for me in all instances. But I think that there are some nice features that potentially could save lives going on right now that are a result of ethical use of AI.
Correct.
Now, you watched. Okay, so this video. You want to set up what we saw in this video?
Yes. So basically, guys, what is it? NHTSA. Their whole sole purpose on this planet is to make sure that auto manufacturers are adhering to the latest safety guidelines, that sort of stuff. And they're also they grade these manufacturers, you know, like front collisions, rear collisions, side collisions, airbag deployment, you name it, all these things. But now we have moved into even more and more higher technology, like AI type technologies. And the video was a demonstration of what they call Pedestrian Automatic Emergency Braking.
And it's the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. So it's kind of an independent test, meaning, you know, Honda's not sponsoring it or Ford's not sponsoring it or whatever. I gotta say, Jay, and we'll link to this video, but some of this stuff is just downright entertaining and hilarious.
Well, it was, right? Man. A lot of dummies involved,
right?
In this one, but surprisingly, I guess it was surprising, maybe not so surprising, but Ford just absolutely
blew chunks,
failed.
So,
I mean,
one of the ones that did really well that I didn't expect to do well was Nissan. Was it the Maxima? Is that right?
Yes, the Nissan Maxima performed very well. Audi did well. The Mercedes did well. Subaru passed the test.
Yeah.
However, you could tell that their onboard systems was a little different than, say, Audi and Mercedes, which I get.
Yeah, so what they did was they took simulated scenarios where they have a fake human being, a mannequin. They're motorized. They're moving, right?
Right.
And they had like a couple lanes, and they would have cars parked on the side of the road, and they would have the mannequin walk out, kind of in a blind spot there, where they're coming out in front of the cars as the test vehicle is moving at them at 30, 40 miles an hour, and it's emergency braking, 25 miles an hour on this Maxima, and then they get into the whole thing where there's a which one was it? So they do a pretty good job in a simulated crosswalk environment, and they all do a fairly decent job there. But then when they do the one where it's like a child running out without like checking, my favorite was what was that? What was that just ran?
That's a Honda.
That person's dead.
Oh no! Wait a minute. That was a Honda. Was that a Ford?
Yeah, that
actually was that was either a Ford or a Hyundai.
Fusion. That was the Ford Fusion.
Oh,
the Ford
and the
Fusion,
Korean manufacturers.
The thing about it is coming up. they let you see it hits the person,
Yeah.
and then about a second or two later, it brakes.
Oh, it's awesome. And then
And
the
then-
legs go under the car and it keeps rolling over them.
And, like, it hits the person, and right as it hits the person, it starts to brake.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, we detected something on your hood. We'll apply the brakes now. Oh, and the body's
Right,
flying
so-
through the air. That's awesome.
Right. So there, that bears some conversation, which is you've got this technology that they're testing for, but there's also the AEB, which is just automatic emergency braking, which is more of a front collision to kind of detect the front collision. So it's not as advanced as this newer technology.
Right.
And that's where AI is coming in, and that's why we wanted to have this conversation.
What's real, what's not, what's worthy of applying the brakes, what's a threat, what isn't, right? All of that's machine learning. Interestingly enough, a couple of the Korean manufacturers, Hyundai and Kia, both just
failed.
Blew right
Completely
over.
failed.
It was
Ford-
awesome. We looked at each other and went, well, they don't care. They're not putting any R&D into this at all.
Right. Yeah, the ones that passed the test were Audi, Mercedes, Nissan, and Subaru. And these were all tested, done at around anywhere between 25 and 35 miles an hour.
Right. Neighborhood speeds, right?
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. And each one of these technologies, and again, this is where we're at. It's everybody racing to the finish line to come up with the best technology suitable. It appears to me that the Europeans have got it figured out.
Well, and on the one hand, we look at this and we go, well, this is great. I love these safety features. It's yet another reason to have a Subaru or, an Audi or even the Nissan. Again, that Nissan, yeah, plenty of distance. But on the other hand, it's like, what am I giving up for this? What that thing that Nissan talked about in the Z car, that connection between man and machine, right? You are one with the car. Well, not anymore in this situation. That car is taken over. And what
That's
was
right.
that? What was that?
Yeah.
That was the Kia option.
That was
I think
the
that was the Kia, yeah.
And there's not.
So-
here's what's interesting to me about that. There's no cars parked on the side of the road in that case. It is a straight up, clearly visible pedestrian about to cross the road, and that thing it never even stops after it makes contact.
That's right. That's exactly right. And see, this is the thing where that's where the standardization has to come into play too, and we're just not quite there with the AI on this stuff. And when Keith and I started talking about this before we podcasted, we were having a conversation, and my thought on it is, have we really become that distracted in our vehicles to the point to where we can't pay attention to the side of the road or what's going on? I understand there are certain circumstances that even the best AI is not even going to detect.
That's a really good point. Now, you have someone here, this is an interesting perspective, because on the one hand, at 10 years old, I would say his entire life, all he has known is vehicles that have some level of electronic integration. Although, Dad's got an FJ Cruiser, it's pretty bare bones. There's no big screens in there or anything, right? So you do know what it's like. And I've got a Ford V10 pickup that's pretty bare bones too. Look at the face he's making. But anytime that you put a big screen, a 10-inch screen in your Bronco or your Hummer EV or your Tesla with a big giant laptop-looking screen, whether or not you are texting on your phone, whether or not you are trying to practice safe driving, there is still the potential, because that screen is there. If it alerts you that it sees a pedestrian, if it alerts you that you have an incoming message or a call, or that you're almost out of fuel or whatever, right? Or that you have low tire pressure. That is still a distraction that you did not have with vehicles in previous generations. Whether or not you're using your phone to text, you are still being exposed to more distractions with the advent of AI in these vehicles.
That's exactly right. It's be careful what you ask for, because it's kind of it's putting you in predicaments that you're not used to. It used to be a couple pedals, man.
Yeah.
A gear shift and a steering wheel, man, and you might have had a couple knobs for the radio, and to roll your window down, you had to crank. I mean, it's all of these modern conveniences they've dumbed us down.
Well,
have they
in a
really?
way,
Have they dumbed us down?
Yeah, I literally saw a commercial.
Are we becoming the crash test dummies?
We
becoming the
are
dummies?
the product. We are the consumable product there. So in a way, I saw a commercial last week. I don't remember who it was for, so I'm not going to name any manufacturer names. But it started like this. It was a lady, and she goes, parallel parking can be so stressful sometimes. And she talked, and that's a valid point. You know, they're in a busy city. People behind you maybe don't know you're trying to parallel park. You know, we've all had it happen. I've had it in my hometown here where I put my turn signal on, I stop, the guy's right on my tail, and I try to back in, and he's blocked me. So what I've had to learn to do is compensate for that. I stop early, completely, put my turn signal on, look over there in a pronounced way, then I pull forward and back up so that I've communicated to them in a as clear as possible. Hey, man.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't know how to parallel park, I mean, that's still on the driver's test, is it not? I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Should you really? Do you have business operating a vehicle that can be a lethal weapon if you're not capable of parallel parking that vehicle?
Right.
I don't know, man. I just feel like, in a way, we've had to introduce all these safety measures because we've introduced all these complications to the driving platform.
Well, all of this AI, the Alexa, Siri, all these things, you know, we talked about this the other day with the sidewalk thing with Amazon, right? It's Amazon Sidewalk, you know what it is? Or
Yeah. Hey, hang on. Side shot, do not be clicking likes under Dad's account.
Well, it depends on what you're looking at.
Yeah, well.
But so
distracted.
Well, it could be
See?
Distraction, yeah. But see, and I'm completely derailed now.
That's what we're here for, man.
Derailer. But no, all of this stuff, man, all of this, is it going to be like in 10 years, Keith? Are we going to hit a button or just say, or not even hit a button and just say, hey, pick me up in 5 minutes. I'm ready to go to the office.
I do
and
think
then all of a sudden, this vehicle comes up and pulls in front of my house. You get in, stop by so-and-so coffee to go.
The case will be made that they have data now, and it's safer to let the AI do it for you, and they'll phase it in, right? So if you're over a certain age or you've already got your driver's license or whatever, but then after a certain point, we will be in a world where your ability to take over control from those machines, I think, will be reduced.
Absolutely,
and it'll be in certain areas. So you know the remember in Vegas, right, where we experienced that they've got the self-driving, like Ubers,
what was it?
Lyfts, or
it was
whatever.
Ubers. Yeah, it was Uber.
And they had rules in that area where they could only engage the self-driving feature out on the strip, meaning they couldn't do it in pulling in and out of the hotels, in the casinos. They were not allowed to do that. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of congregating, but once they were out in with traffic light signals and on the strip, they could engage it. So they had human drivers. I see that scenario being reversed in 10 years. I see it being the human will only be allowed to take over at certain lower risk areas.
Right. I have someone in our family that they leased it. They didn't purchase it. It was an Acura. I forget the exact model. It was one of their SUVs.
Probably an MDX or an RDX.
Probably. I think it was an MDX, but it had that lane keep.
Yeah.
Technology, and they were showing me several occasions how it worked. You know, and I knew how it worked, but they were mainly showing me how it doesn't work.
Yeah.
They're scared to death of it. They won't use it. They're not letting it take control.
It's the same on our 17 Lexus. It's we've tested that where I've taken my hands off the wheel and it's like, we're going in the ditch, and I have to, you know.
So thing is, you try to test that on like the twisty roads in St. George Island.
We're mailboxing it, right?
Yeah, first of all, it's not made for that, and also, I think like 2 years ago, maybe it was 3, I don't know. And we were on a trip to Hilton Head Island with my mom's friend and her son, and every year she rents out like a new car, and that year she had gotten a Tahoe, and I kept seeing that it would, like, the steering wheel would move when she went, and I told her about it, and she was like, wow, that's cool. So we tested it, and so it would start to go just ever so slightly to the left, and then it would correct it, but then it would go to the right, and it would correct it, and then it would get like really bad. And I was
they
banging
do
my head
sort of
on the
simulate a
windows.
drunk driver. I've noticed that the AI doesn't really do any better than an inebriated human, and driving
Yeah.
steady down the center of the lane.
So could you effectively get pulled over and go, I wasn't
well,
driving,
it's probably
man.
coming to that. I mean, and
I
the
wasn't
officer's
driving,
gonna
man.
Go, I observed, erratic.
Yeah, but it's on autopilot. It wasn't me, man.
Yeah.
I'm not. I gave up my keys to the car. I'm sorry.
All right. So while we got you talking, and then we'll wrap the show up here. This whole thing that we've been talking about with the safety and the AI integrations in cars. Are you a fan for where that's heading? And here's why I'm asking, because you need to think about it like this. In 5 to 6 years, you may have a driver's license if you continue good behavior. If you do not, it may be another 10 or 15 years. But by the time you're 25, you could potentially go out and buy your first new car or whatever. Maybe you get one before then. By the time you're 25, you may be left with no options on a dealer lot other than full AI mode. And you may not actually be able to, finger quotes here, drive a car. What do you think about that? Are you good with this? What would you like to see happen?
So I think it is super cool that cars are able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't like the idea that you're not allowed to drive. Like, maybe if there's these really risky areas and the car knows that, like, there have been a lot of crashes there, I might be okay with it, like, not letting me do that.
Yeah.
But I would definitely like to drive it.
Ooh.
But I think it's still a cool idea to have that, because again, like, that's another advancement in technology.
Well, and this is somebody
I've got something to add to what
Go
he
ahead.
just said, which is
Yeah.
another piece of technology, and I don't know that there's any out there. I mean, we have the ability to have this, and if I've missed this technology, then show me being under a rock. But he just mentioned something like if a specific part of a highway is risky to drive on,
Yeah.
right? Then maybe you let the AI
Well,
take over or not take over. So, but that made me think, well, wouldn't that be cool to have an onboard AI let you know that the area that you're about to drive through, be on high alert. There have been numerous accidents on this stretch of road just in the past month.
so we're going to call that the Kenny Loggins alert. You know why?
All right. Why, man?
Well,
What?
if you're going to go through the danger zone.
Oh, man. Yes.
So,
Danger. But isn't that,
but again, you're making my case that before too long it becomes you're only allowed as the human to drive in these certain areas that we deem less risky, right?
right. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
just something to think about, and he's done driving where we'll go to these, racetracks and they drive the go-karts, and
Sure.
he always gets bent out of shape when it's the one that you got to be 16 or older or have a driver's license. They won't let him do it. But
Right.
remember when we were kids and Dad put you on his lap and let you drive, hold the wheel, and
Oh, man. All the time.
his mother.
I mean,
his mother. Yeah, I'm not saying I have video of this on my phone. I'm not saying I don't have video of this on my phone. I'm just saying it may come out one day if I need it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So it looks like we're running out of time here.
We are.
do you,
so we should tell everybody where they can find us, huh?
And maybe it might be worth bringing up those. Do you have those hats handy again? The
I
beanies?
do. Don't forget, folks, this is the December to remember. Right here, guys. If you're interested, you need to reach out to us on our website, contact us, and we'll see what we can do for you. These are $25 a piece. We have trucker hat, baseball hat. Those are $27 each. If you want a hoodie, those are around $45. We'll see what we can work out there for you as well. But we're just testing the waters with it, so reach out to us there. We also have a video out. We just released a video on gifts for gearheads. There's quite a few things there. Specifically one, which is the fixed sensor, which reads your codes through your OBD2 port. We have a link on our website as well as in that particular video over on YouTube, where you can click on that link and you can go purchase that. And it's a sale for our audience right now, which is really awesome. It's $19.99 for that thing right now. Those things, when they first came out, were around $80 a piece or something. But anyway, right now is the time to get your hands on those. So speaking of YouTube.com, you can check out video segments of this podcast. You can check out some of our DIY videos and many, many other videos over on youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus. You can check us out on social media. If you want to follow us, we'd love to have you follow us. You go to facebook.com/Parts Counter Gurus. Give us a thumbs up, like us, share. Go over to instagram.com/The Parts Counter Gurus. Same thing there, guys. Check us out on Twitter, and on Twitter we are at The Counter Show. If you please download our podcast and just become a fan. Go to partscountergurus.com. There is a tab for podcast links. Click on the link. Look at that coaster. That's a nice one. You can buy anything that we mention on the podcast. There's a mention on the podcast tab there. You can find those links. Or if you just want to shop, finish out your Christmas shopping or whatever shopping you prefer. Maybe you're out of toilet paper. I know a lot of people must be because I can't find any right now. Go through our website and click on the Amazon link. If you purchase through there, it helps us out. We get a little love. We don't know what you're buying. We don't know who you are, but it helps us continue to do these shows. So please, YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us on every podcast, follow us on everything, man. Thank you so much for being in our audience. And if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So thanks again for everything.
All right, so we worked out a little plan here. Sideshot's going to contribute here. Now, here's how we're going to do this. All right, let me set this up. I'm going to say a couple words in closing, and then I'm going to flip this up, okay? And then you can do your thing. All right?
Just like he said, go subscribe.
There you go. Okay.
And close it.
All right, so here we go. You ready? We're doing it live. You got one take. All right. Again, everybody, thank you so much. It's been a great year. We appreciate it. We sincerely could not have done this without your continued support. Thank you all. Jay, thank you for sticking with us here.
Thank you, guys.
Guest sit-in and all.
Thank you, Sideshot. Always fun to have you on.
So until next time, everybody, that is Jay way over there. Sideshot right here to my left. You're right. I am Keith. Until next time, may all your favorite bands stay together.
Remember, just like he said, partscountergurus.com. Make sure to go subscribe.
Gonna take it right.